Are companies too aggressive in their expectations out of model-based enterprise initiatives? Let's talk about that next. Okay, let's talk about expectations with model-based enterprise initiatives. Are they too aggressive? You know, a lot of companies that I talk to, when we talk about model-based definitions and how they can use them and how they get the most value out of them, immediately start talking about automation. So you can do some great, cool things with a model-based definition in the product development process. You can use it to automatically create machining toolpaths based on machining strategies, so you can actually accelerate things. There's good value there. You can use it to automatically program CMM machines. We're actually on the forefront of that right now, but you can actually automate the touch points based on semantic PMI, and that's good. That can accelerate things. You can automatically compare the results of touches or even a 3D scan to a model-based definition, and you can automate things there as well. Those are all good goals and objectives. Don't get me wrong. However, I think there might be too aggressive for the first step. I think there's an intermediate step that will provide value along the way instead of going all the way for that end game or that end state that you're shooting for. So what is that intermediate step? So first off, getting an intermediate step is to go with a reduced annotation drawing. Okay, so first off, take your existing drawings, rely on the 3D model to spatially locate all the geometry of the part. Okay, so if someone wants to know, okay, where's this surface over here, they can use the model for that. Only include the dimensions in the drawing that are going to be used for inspection, right? The critical dimensions that will be measured when the part comes out of the mold or gets machined. Okay, so that's a first step. So why is that important? Number one, it actually reduces the amount of effort to create documentation in engineering, right? So you're going to get a productivity jump in engineering, even if you don't get any benefit downstream from it. Okay, even if they just still use a drawing and a 3D model side by side. Okay, so but there's a benefit there for engineering. The next big step up is for engineering to start releasing a model-based definition instead of a drawing and a model. Right? So now you're eliminating one of those deliverables. You have a single source of truth that will eliminate confusion downstream, okay? Because there's one source of truth that people can go to. Of course, there will be an adjustment downstream of switching to looking at a drawing and looking at a model to looking at the MBD. But the idea here is that if you go to an MBD in engineering, you're going to get even more productivity out of that. Okay, so you got to think about, what are the benefits of getting more productivity out of engineering? Can you create more products? Can you have more innovative designs, more differentiation? Now, what happens on the back end over here when you switch over to a reduced annotation drawing or an MBD? Well, you don't necessarily have to jump straight to automation, and that's perfectly okay. Instead, what they can do is look at the reduced annotation drawing, look at the MBD as if they were looking at a full production, fully detailed drawing. They can still do that. Like, for example, if you're creating an NC toolpath, you still have the 3D model, you're going to create the paths on that, but you can and you can look at the MBD or the reduced annotation drawing, and based off of that, you can still input the speeds and feeds, step overs, tool selection, all that stuff, which is basically what they're doing today with a fully annotated drawing. It's not that much different, but it allows engineering to have less effort in creating their documentation. So there's an intermediate step here to get some value before you go to full automation with semantic PMI. Keep that in mind as you plan out your model-based enterprise initiatives. That's it. Take care and talk soon.